1, 2, 3, scissors!
Me and a few of our community members and volunteers, we saw there was a need for women to be involved in the space of rugby league, and not just in the canteen or on the gate, but rather on the field as sports trainers, managers, coaches and players. And when we started that journey and implementing it, there was a lot of times where males didn't feel really comfortable having females within that space or coaching them. So I put my hand up and said, you know what, I'll coach them and showed that it can be done and that women belong in this space.
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going!
It started with a game of league tag and introducing that to the community across the Western area and Far West area. And then my spark for coaching started there, and we progressed on to developing a Western Women's Academy for rugby league and transition into rugby league, and then a part of that also working with the Far West Academy and implementing tackle into the women's space for 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-olds. So for young girls that are not in a traditional pathway, where we bring them in and give them some expert coaching and education around the game on and off the field. So I've been at Training Central School for 12 years. The last couple of years I've been relieving in the Deputy Principal role, and with the 2 NRLW season and World Cup and this camp, the Indigenous Women's Academy here at the AIS, I decided to take 12 months leave from teaching and give this a really good crack. I think having visibility of First Nation coaches at the top end, particularly in leadership roles, such as Dean Witters, right now Ronnie Griffiths there at the Knights, and you've got Sowie over there at the Dragons. That representation means so much. It's visibility that we can see is achievable. Things that I learnt at the Knights was definitely, that was my first experience in the high performance space, and I learned a lot about myself in that space as well. Able to fine tune my craft and work with great coaches. The vision for me is to be able to have country women and men within the sport know that they can come through the community space and reach the elite level. The other motivation for me is really about increasing the representation of Indigenous or First Nation players, particularly in the female space, coming through the pathways and into the elite space. And along that, bringing First Nation coaches as well along it. So really, the Indigenous space is where my passion is, but also within the pathways, and just trying to show people that it doesn't matter where you come from. I come from a small community of 900 people. I live there still, and I'm able to represent the sport at a high level, and I hope that that's the visibility that people in the community space see when they look at my journey. I'm a real privilege to be able to be in spaces with some really quality coaches, but my heart is back at the community level, at participation level, being able to share my knowledge or what I've learnt in all of these spaces and give back to community. That's probably where my heart is the most, and particularly in my own region there in Trengi and the Far West area. When this footy, coaching, you're not in it for a really long time sometimes, so I'm just trying to take it all in while I'm in these spaces and learn and then share as much as I can when I go home, and upskill and uplift a lot of other coaches that are coming through the system, or players as well, so they can match the same skill level as the city girls and boys in this game.